Hi, welcome to the online training session of Apex Medical Corp. Today, we'd like to talk about our latest CPAP called IX series CPAP with internet connectivity and online remote monitoring system. We're offering the Easy Compliance Online as well as the Easy Compliance M, which is a applications. The Easy Compliance Online enable the distributors or our dealers or the hospital created by these accounts to be able to track online remote monitoring the performance of the patients using the CPAP products, and as well as the Easy Compliance the APP, the applications where the patients can use to connect their CPAP to the Wi-Fi of their home and to monitor their performance of using the CPAP machines. So this is the overall hierarchy of the Easy Compliance, where Apex here on the top is the administrator, will provide account for our distributor, a set of a password and ID, and therefore, the distributor is able to track the performance of the patients, create account, as well as create different accounts for further management, which is including the dealer's account or the DMEs. And the DMEs can also create account for different hospitals management. So each of the different hospital accounts can also create various of different hospitals clinical users account, for example, for doctors, for sleep technicians, etc., etc. At the same time, the dealers can also create their own clinical users, and these clinical users can create its own patients, or the dealers clinical users or the DME clinical users can create patients that can be monitored by hospital clinical users. And from the perspective of patients, they can use their app to track their performance as well. So this is the overall hierarchy where the Apex distributors, dealers, hospitals, clinical user from dealers, clinical user from hospitals, all these can be monitored through Easy Compliance Online. Whereas from the patient perspective, they can also track their performance, daily usage, some basic sleep index through their Easy Compliance M. So on the next session, we're going to go over the details on how to set up accounts to go into the online website from distributor, dealers, hospitals, and clinical user account perspective, to go step by step on each of the setup, performance, and procedures. So here, let us move on to the first part, where the distributors, we're going to track, go on to the website of easycomplianceonline.com, and for consistent and for training basis, we're going to create all the password as Apex123. And please note that the Apex A is capitalized. So here, our first step is we're going to create all these accounts right here. Okay, from distributor to dealers to hospitals to dealers, clinical users, from hospital clinical users, and we're going to create patients that's co-monitored by dealers and hospitals, as well as a quick summary on how to create direct patients without monitoring from the dealer's clinical users, or DMEs create their own patients without the monitoring of hospital clinical users. So this is the general overview. So the first step is to create an account for the dealers. So here is the identification code that we're going to set up, and to be simple, easy to remember for the training purpose, we're going to use all the password to be Apex123 with A as capitalized letter. So now let us go to the website, Easy Compliance Online. We suggest that you will use Chrome as the browser. So here we're going to use distributor, and the password to be apex at 123, and click on this "I'm not a robot" button, so we can initiate the platform. So on this setup page, you can obviously this is a new created account. So here it will list all of the patients that you were created either by you, by dealers, or by clinical users, or by hospitals or clinics, clinical users. So once the patient has been set up, you'll have a list right here to show you if this clinical users created by your dealers, and what is the hospital's name, and what is the clinical users of the hospitals to be attending the to be monitoring the patients. This is the patient name. This is the percentage of compliance rate, and as well as the account setup date. Okay, so once you have a list of patients, you can filter from which date for this date, and here you can screen and filter to find the patients very easily through these screen selections. So here, our first step is to create account for dealers. So we can come to this setup page right here, put a click, and then from here, there's a 3-bar icon here. You click over. Here is the system management and users management. So step number 1 here, we're going to create a dealer's account. So we come to dealer's management. So we click a button here. Now we don't have any dealers or DME set up yet, so we're going to start that right now. So to set up a dealer, you press the plus button right here. And then as according to our plan, we're going to set up an account called DME. So dealer, we just create a dealer account. Country, we can set United States, for example. Language, we'll select, there's various of selection, but we'll select English for now. And account, let's set up DME. Password, as according to our plan, we're going to set up all Apex 123 and click the I button, so you can just to double check whether it complies to our plan, Apex 123. The contact person, we're going to just to make up a name right here. So an email, because this is just an example, so just make up an email. So the rest you can just select right here. I'm just make things up just to California, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so once you edited all the must required asterisk part right here, you can click on save, and then it is successfully created. So this is the DME account ID that you use to log in, and using the password apex at 123A capitalized. So we have successfully created one dealer or DME account under the account of distributor. The next step is we need to manage the product, which product to be used to be able to select by the dealers, by the DME. So now we press this plus button right here. Now we're going to create, we're going to choose the account that we just created under distributor, this dealer. Then we're going to select what product to that this dealer can sell and manage online. And next step, we're going to select all the masks available by Apex, as well as the spare parts. Okay, so we just press save. So we have just created a dealer account that has all these products and spare part and masks that they can select when they manage their these accounts. Okay, so basically that is the first part. And to go back, you press home, and it will come back to this page right here. And you can press the patient button, which will also come up to the same platform right here. If you want to contact the Apex, you can press this button. And then here, you can take a look. You can change some different setting. For example, once it is notified, you can come to this page. You got this patient managed notification. It can send automatic message on its compliance information on these different days. You can send me a weekly report on every week or every 2 weeks. And then you can set up this patient's average AHI, et cetera, and then it will deliver these information on a weekly basis. Or if there's any data for not uploaded for how many days, prescription change, device status changes, you can also send information immediately to the emails account that we'll set up later. This language icon right here, you can choose for different language to appear on these Easy Compliance online platform. So as a summary, we just created a DME account. From the distributor perspective, we create a dealer account. Now from the dealer account, let's create a hospital account. And then we're going to create dealers, clinical users, as well as hospital clinical users. So step number 2 is let's create clinical users of dealers. So let's log out. And then from this from this platform, let's type in DME and make sure our password is correct, and we log in. So this platform from the dealer and dealers DME distributor are quite similar, except that the function will be a little bit different. Now our next step is to create dealers, clinical users. So we come to here, the system area. We click the bar icon, and then we'll create a clinical user management to create new clinical user account. Here we're going to press plus, and then it allows you to choose, okay, the clinical user, you're going to choose dealers, your own clinical users under this dealer, under this DME, or you're going to help a hospital to create their own clinical users. And after that, it requires hospital approval from the hospital account. So let's set up a dealer's account. So the account for the dealer's clinical user must be an email. So let's go back to here. Let's choose DME CU or DME clinical user at test.com. So let's do that. DME CU at test.com. DME CU at test.com. Okay, and the password, let's make the same password right here. So let's double check clinical user dealers. We create, this is the account or email account that we use to log in to this account. So here you can choose the profession, the MPI code, the name, Mike. Oh, I'm just making names up. Phone number, city, zip code, language. I'll just choose English. So here you got, would you offer this account authorization to access patient info? No access, view, or view and edit. So for the training purpose, let's choose view and edit. So allow this patient to allow this clinical user not only to access the patient and also to change the patient's information, and authorization to access the accessories information as well. Let's select view and edit, because you may want to create a clinical user account and only allow this account to view patient's information and not to make any changes. So now that you have double checked the content, DME CU, clinical user at test.com, Apex 123 with A capitalized. So you double check the content and you press save. Now we successfully created this account, this DME CU at test.com. We have successfully created this account. So in order to activate this account, we'll suggest you when you have to log out and log in with this DME CU account before giving this account to your clinical users. It has to be logged in and activated before it can be used to create a new account. So now we have successfully created this account right here. And now our next step is let's create a hospital account from the DME, from the dealer's perspective. So on the same account, let's create hospital account from this area: user management, hospital management. At this moment, we don't have any new hospital created. Thanks for reminding. So let's press this the plus button right here. So here we're going to create a hospital, and the account will just, to make it simple, we just make it hospital. The account has to be in the email format. So let's take a look at our plan. Let's create the account as Sleep Center. Sleep Center, like that. Okay, password Apex at 123. Let me copy that. Apex 123. And then last name. Let's just make up a name, Mike Fink. And the email, it can be sleepcenter@test.com. Phone number, I'm just making it up. City, state, zip code, language, let's choose English. So again, let's double check. We create a hospital account. Sleep Center is the ID. Password is Apex at 123. So these are the two key information that we need to remember to complete this training. So we save. Okay, now we have successfully create a hospital in Los Angeles. The account is Sleep Center. Okay, so let's go back to our PowerPoint here. So basically, we have created, we offer a distributor account. We create a dealer account under the distributor. Under the dealer DME account, we create clinical users. And then we also create hospital identifications. Now, next step is login in hospital. And then from hospital's perspective, let's create a clinical hospital account. So let's, from here, to go back to the menu, you just press the home button right here. And then at any time, you can just sign out. Okay, now let us log in as Sleep Center. Apex at 123. I'm not a robot. And let's log in from hospital perspective. And from a hospital perspective, let's create a clinical user account. So it's the same thing. System, click system, the 3 barcode, open it, and then user management, clinical user management. So here, of course, we don't have any clinical user created under this hospital account yet. So let's click plus. Now it's automatically a clinical user under hospital. There's no options like we saw in the DME perspective. So account, let's choose doctor@test.com. Let's create this mock account, doctor@test.com. Doctor@test.com. Password is the same, Apex at 123. So name. Phone number. City. Zip code. Same thing. Language. Let's choose English. And here, authority to access patient info, no access, view only, or view and make changes. So let's view and edit. So just one double quick check, doctor@test.com, the password to be the same as Apex at 123. So we press save. Okay, now we have successfully created this account. So let us first activate the 2 clinical user account that we just created. One is the dealer's clinical user, and then the hospital clinical users. The 2 platforms will be quite similar and provide more information because these are the 2 accounts that will monitor the performance of the patients created by them. So it has more filter system to allow easy management from the clinic by the clinical users. So the next step, so let's create a co-patient of dealers, clinical user, and hospital clinical users. But in order to do so, let me log in with these 2 accounts to activate these 2 accounts. So then we can create a patient that can be co-managed at the same time. Both of these accounts can monitor the same patients from these 2 different clinical users. So let me log out from the hospital account. Now let me log in with doctor to activate this account. I'm not a robot. So here is to just to double check your password. Apex at 123. Apex at 123. Contact email. You can put your email or you can just leave it blank. So let's get started. Here, as you can see, has a different platform comparing to the management account. This is the account for the clinical users. So here, let me give you a little bit more introduction on its news feed, or this first page. Here you got different filter card, and each of these filter card can allow you to quickly identify according to different conditions. For example, in this news feed right here, it says new patients. So basically, let's say you have created a bunch of patients, and you would like to know how many of these 500, 1,000, or 10,000 patients that you have are new patients created over the last week or last 2 weeks. So you can, it will show you out of X amount of patients, how many of them falls under these categories. So you have the category of how many new patients created over the last couple days, how many patients over the last 30 days, for example, has an AHI of more than how many AHI index. How many of them have precision setting changes? How many of the patients have reported that they need to change the machine? You can also monitor from here. How many of these patients have a leak? For example, over 30 LPM, 30 liter per minute, and you can track from here. Right now it's all 0, but let's say you have 10 patients have leak problems, and it will appear 10. And when you click this filter, it will go into the page of all the patients that falls into that category. How many patients data have not been uploaded over the last X amount of days, and how many patients have their compliance over 70% with 4 hours per night of sleep, or how many patients are less than 70% of compliance. So these are the quick filter card that we can create or adjust. Let me just give you an example, an AHI. So if I want to change this edit card, I just press edit button. So here's the AHI over 15. Let's just say, I just want to create a card that will allow me to take a look at only the patients with more than 30 AHI. Here is a therapy issue or AHI over the last a day, and you can choose up to 30 days. So let's just say over the last 30 days, AHI that more than 30 fall under this category, and it will show the patients that complies to these conditions. So once I made a save, so here I changed into 30 AHI, for example. Okay, and then the compliance, I can choose the compliance rate. I can choose 70% over the last 90 days. Of course, you can make any changes of the days, let's say over the last week. And then you can also change the filter card to these different color. For example, for compliance, I want to choose red filter tag. So here, it will automatically change the color, and then the compliance, etc., etc. So these are the quick filter management that we have designed to allow you to quickly click on the patients, click on this filter to spot exactly who are the patients that comply to these parameters. So now let us create patients. So we go into these patients column right here. Of course, there's no patient at this moment. So let's create a new patient. Yeah. So here is the new patients area. So before I do so, because our plan is to create a co-patient, let me also activate a dealer's clinical users so we can create this co-patients. So let me log out. and log in with dmecu@test.com. Same password, not a robot. So it appears the same requirement to type in the password. APEC@123. Let's get started. So the overview is exactly the same. Okay. So let me now create a co-patient under this account. It's the same thing because you can create an account of a patient from here. So let's create this co-patient from this account. Basically, the procedure is exactly the same. So now I log in using the clinical user of dealers, and let us create a co-patient called patient pt2@test.com. So let me go to the patient area, and from this patient, we create a new patient account. So here's the automatic 18th of June, 2021. This is the setup date, and the user account is pt2@test.com. Let me just confirm it. pt2@test.com. pt2@test.com. Now I can either I don't have an email address, or I can choose this email and send app invitation. So what it's going to do is once I create this email account, and it will send to this patient an app invitation where it has the link to download from the iOS or from the Google Play. The invitation tag depends on which system that you're using, and you can download the app accordingly. You can also send encouragement message. Let's put yes. To contact email, I suggest just to be exactly the same. Phone number of the patient, name. I'm just making it up. Date of birth. Let's make it a younger guy. 1960. Sorry. You need to click on the date to activate the age. Okay. Patient ID. It's something that you created for the patients according to your administration. Save and continue. Now here is the part that you want to select who will be your partner to monitor these patients. Right now, I'm using Mike Tyson's account of clinical user right here. So right here, this is Tyson's clinical users. Now from here, you can choose whether what is the hospital that's going to monitor this patient. You can choose your directly, or hospitals that we just created. So from here, which physicians? So obviously we just created one, which is Mike Clinton, or you can just choose hospitals as a direct service. So let's create Mike Clinton. So basically you got Mike Tyson, the clinical user of the dealer, as well as the Dr. Mike Clinton of the hospital here in Los Angeles to monitor the same patients. So once that is confirmed, you just save and continue. Here, you type on their weights and height. To come up with a BMI. Something like that. I'm just making up. 300 pound, 200 inch, and then save and continue. Oh, sorry. 5 inch, 10 inch. Okay. Save and continue. And you can add here the address number, the contact information of the patient. You can skip if you want to. And then the basic information now is completed. Now that we have set up the account of Mike Lee, which is the patients that's co-monitored by the 2 clinical users of the hospital and also the DME, now we can take a look at the profile. Here you can see the basic information that we just created, which include the name, the date of birth, the app account, that's the email account that you use to log in to the application, as well as the contact email, the basic information, the contact details, as well as which organization, under which dealer, under which clinical user is monitored, as well as which hospital and which physicians it's together taking care of this patient, as well as additional note. You can change, for example, any additional notes that you can prescribe here. For example, there's a change in prescription, and then we can save this note, and all the past data will appear here, and you can do further editing or delete it. Here in the profile of Mike Lee, of the patient, you will find the basic info, the prescriptions, which we're going to talk about in a moment, where we can register the serial code of the IX Auto CPAP so that it can be uploaded to the right patient data, the supply of accessories, the history, and also the agreement. Whereas in the usage, you will find the efficacy information, as well as the compliance time, as well as the daily details, and the long-term trend we're also going to talk about in a moment. So let us now register the serial number of the IX Auto CPAP to this particular patient. So we click on the prescription here, and then here we're going to press plus. There's a plus sign right here. We press, and then we're going to add a device. Here, we're going to take a look at the screen where we're going to find the Auto CPAP's serial number, which is located in the back of the CPAP, where you will find this code that we need to register here in the platform. So here you can see it's 215-002-103-126-730 and 26. We're going to add this code right here, and then we need to select, this is a IX Auto machine, where you can find its name at the front panel, IX Auto. So now that we register the number, then we put add the device, we say yes, and then here we just set the value of the IX CPAP setting. After we have added the devices, our next step is to add the mask. So press the plus button on right, and then add mask. Here you can select the ranges of Wizard 310, 320, and 510. And let's say I choose this Wizard 510, and then I can choose the sizes, let's say medium size. And then I can input the lot number of the mask that's available on the package. So this can help us to track which exactly the lot number of the mask used by the patient. So then you press add, then yes. And then you will see that the mask information is added at the right corner. Now let us talk about the function of Easy Compliance Online, the application. You may download this application from the iOS system, App Store, or if you're an Android system, you can download from Google Play. So this is the icon, and we're going to press the Easy Compliance Online app. And then here we're going to put down the patient's account that we established previously. So it's pt2@test.com. For the password, the password will be automatically assigned by the system and emailed to the patient's email account. For the training purpose, we have adjusted everything to be Apex @123. So once we press sign in, and here is all the format of the application. Here you got in the home base, you will see the daily analysis. When you scroll down a little bit, you will see pressure, usage, compliance rate, and day, week, and month. You'll find information of the average score, pressure, leakage, AHI, and usage of the month and of the week. If you go down, here's home, profile. These are the device that we have registered, the mask that we have registered, followed by some knowledge information of the obstructive sleep apnea. You'll find some health education information about sleep apnea in this session. A cool function is about the service. Let's say the patient reported that the CPAP is not working, and it may notify the clinical user of the DME by choosing the box. For example, if I request report, change my patient, request additional supplies, or I want to do some maintenance. Here, let's say CPAP require repair, for example. And then I press done and I press send. Now this information, this piece of information will appear on the customer request under the account of the clinical user of the DME. So let me stop the sharing, and then let me log on to the Easy Compliance Online of the clinical user of DME. So here you can see by pressing the customer request, you'll see just 1 minute ago, I pressed CPAP require repair. So this is a maintenance and repair issue, and this require immediate attention. So this is a new, and let's say I already fix the issue, just to keep a memo, and this is a done issue. I can press that, and then it will be disappear from this pending list. So these are one of the features that you can interact with the patient. The patient will report this service request, and it can be viewed from the customer request. Now let us press the new connection. It will start to look for the CPAP and also look for the nearby Wi-Fi signal. Let me enter the password, and it will start to connect to the Wi-Fi hotspot. Now the Wi-Fi is successfully connected, and within 10 to 15 seconds, the CPAP machine, the signal will start to connect to the Wi-Fi. Now, when the CPAP is connected, then the device will be activated. As you can see at this moment, the Wi-Fi signal has been turned on. Now that we have all the connectivity established, the 4G, the Wi-Fi, now let us talk about the basic function of these IX Auto devices. This is the on and off button, which can allow you to activate the pressure. This is the pressure therapy. This is the menu button, and this is the turning knob. Now we're at the standby mode, where you can see this is an APAP mode, and this is the current pressure of the initial pressure, for example. And to activate the clinical mode, all I have to do is press the turning knob and the menu press at the same time. For 3 seconds, you hear a beep where you can enter clinical mode to adjust the pressure, therapy pressure, as well as changing the auto CPAP from auto CPAP to fixed CPAP mode or vice versa. And you can see here there's a therapy pressure. You can select all APAP and to select CPAP and press again. So press again allows you to change different setting, and then to confirm is to press again. Now to change the therapy pressure is exactly the same, press down, and then you can adjust, let's say to 10 cm/2, and then to confirm. And then this is the PVA, which is the pressure relief. You can adjust to off, 1, 2, or 3 cm/2 less than the therapy pressure. To switch off, to confirm, is to press again. Go back. You can always restore to default by pressing this, and then to confirm is to press again with the checklist. So if you go back, so this is a therapy setting. We can also come to the setting here, the airplane mode, the Wi-Fi, the cellular, the backlight. I can adjust my backlight accordingly. I can also set the alarm clock. I can also set the reminding. For example, this is the filter, and when is the good time to remind, to check, and maybe to replace the filter. I can come to this area to select 3 months instead of 3. I can change to 4 or 5 or 6. Let's say I want him to check the filter every 6 months. And then I come to the water chamber. And then I want to check every 12 months. And for the tubing, maybe I can set at every 6 months to give a reminder. So you go back. And this is the language. You can also switch to Spanish or Japanese or any other language, French, if you want to confirm. So these are the basic settings. The therapy and the comfort. The comfort wise, you can change the ramp pressure, the ramp time, let's say 10 minutes, the start pressure. So the key is to press and turn. Auto on, auto off, mask type. Run mask fit means that you place the mask and then you run this, it'll check whether it's well sealed or not. So back. So these are the available functions in a clinical mode. Whereas if you press the menu, once you're out there and you come back to the menu, it doesn't have the setting of where you can adjust the pressure or change the auto mode into CPAP mode and vice versa. Here in the setting, you can also see the reminder will be whatever that you have preset in the clinical mode. Like every 6 months, it will give you an alarm to check the filter. Every year, it'll come and remind you to change the water chamber. And every 6 months, it will start to give you a signal to check the status of the tubing. IX Auto CPAP comes with 2 stock keeping units. It can be used by itself without a heated humidifier. It has a smaller size, so it can be served as a traveling CPAP, or it can be attached with a heated humidifier to offer additional moisture to prevent airway and nasal dryness. So here in this image, we're showing that this CPAP is connected with the air tubing. And let me show you on how to install the heated humidifier. So first, let me remove the heating tube. And this is the heated humidifier. And first of all, let us remove the casing. and then place on the bottom. And the two can be bundled together. And hear a click. Once you hear a click in the image on the bottom left, you will see that at this moment, the heater humidifier is switched on. Now, let me replug the air tubing back on. And then let me initiate the air pressure. So now in the setting is remain at off, but because the heater humidifier is connected, so I can press the turning knob and then press to let it adjust minimum of 0 is switched off, 1 is minimum, and it can be adjust up to maximum of 6. And then to confirm, you can press to confirm the final setting. This IX Auto is also compatible with heated tube, which is another optional accessories. And the heated tube or the heated coil has a circuit connected embedded. And once you click here, it will automatically comes up with an additional signal of the level of the heating tube. So once I initiate the therapy pressure, will start to give air. And then I can press my turning knob. Here is the same to adjust the different level of the heated humidifier. To confirm, to press down. And then I can change to adjusting the different level of the heated tube. By 0 is off. And to adjust 1, 2, 3, 4, and up to 6. And to confirm is to press the button till it reaches white. So basically, I can adjust the different level of the heated humidifier and the heated tubing while the pressure is giving. It can be also adjusted before the pressure setting. So for example, when I'm in the menu, in the standby mode, I can press the menu button. And in the comfort, I can press to initiate the setting of the heated humidifier level. Now it's at 6. I can also switch to off or 1 to 6. And then to confirm, to press again. And then the heated tube as well, to press to make adjustment. And then to press to confirm. So that is the different options that this IX Auto has been given, using a standard air tubing as a standard accessories, or a heated tubing can also be used as a additional option where condensing water has been identified and heated tube is required. Now let us take a look at an actual example. Let's click on the patient list. And then let's take a look at an actual patient's data results. As you can see, this Easy Compliance Online, when log in through a clinical user, you can see there's under the name, there's usage and there's profile. Under the usage, there's efficacy statistic, compliance time, daily details, and long-term trend. Here in the efficacy statistic, we can see the latest, today, yesterday, over the last 7 days, 30 days, and 90 days summary of average AHI, which is here 2.6. We can also identify the average pressure, 6.3, 90th percentile of the pressure. For example, in this case is 8.4. The average leak is how many liter per minute. The large leak time is around 0.7 minutes. Here you can see the compliance. The daily usage of more than 4 hours is 93%, and less than 4 hours is how many percentage would come up with 100%. So this gives you a broad summary of the average sleep parameters and the compliance. Here in the efficacy statistic, we can also see this is based on an IX Auto, and it was set up on such and such date. On the second column, we can see the compliance time, which you can see all the time selected over the 90, 30, or 7 days. For example, if I put over the 30 days period, I can see this is the total usage profile range hour, which include, this is the date. For example, this is June 6th, 13th of June, May 30th, and this is the midnight time, 12 midnight. So top from here is in the morning, and this is in the evening. And this basically you can track, like if it is over sleeping 4 hours, it will appear as a bar with green color. And if it is less than 4 hours, it will appear as a red non-compliance. So you can see if you just point to any of this bar, for example, this one, you can see that on May 30th, it has been split into 2 sessions from 4 hours and 44 minutes from 3 a.m. to 7:55 a.m. Another split from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. So total of 2 hours plus 4 hours and 44 minutes, and you come to a total of 6 hours and 45 minutes. So basically, this can give you an idea on the usage profile. Here you can see the usage day, total day was 30, how many days were used, and how many days were not used, and the percentile of average per the period of time. Here you can see the usage hour, a total of 191 hours, and maximum was 8.3 hours per day, and this was 3.8 hours per day or per night. And the analysis throughout this 30 days, there were 28 days using more than 4 hours, and 2 days was less than 2, so it's 93.3% with more than 4 hours of usage. So this is the compliance time. When it comes to the daily details, we're pressing the daily details, you will see throughout the range the profile of therapy pressure. The x-axis is the date and time. The y-axis is the pressure from minimum of 4 up to 20. So you can see this is how the pressure went. You can select either you want 7 days or 30 days or 90 days, these periods of time, or you can select the period manually by just hitting this block, and you can just select, I want to see from this range to this range, and then I just click on it, and then I press update, and then it will just appear the exact range that I want to see. So let's say I say 13 all the way to 10th, then I click update. So you can see from here, these are the pressure parameters. Now it has been updated. The pressure parameters of all the pressure from minimum to maximum. So this obviously is a Auto CPAP. This is the sleep therapy flag, where the red marks on the blue marks are central apnea or obstructive apnea. Blue is central and red is obstructive. The middle section is the hypopnea, and the bottom section is the flow limitations. every incident will be marked by one flag. And here are the leaks from 0 all the way up to 100 liter per minute. It gives you 2 mark with red at 60 liter per minute mark and 30 liter per minute mark with orange color. So on this platform, you can see pressure, sleep therapy, and leak all at the same x-axis and showing 3 different parameters. And we can always zoom in by clicking the mouse cursor, left click, and then to select a particular zone. And then I can just release it. And I can just see this particular time, what was the performance of the pressure, how the pressure varies, how many incidents of apnea, sleep apnea, how many incidents of hypopnea. I can zoom in even up to per minute mark. And then here is the leak. I can see it goes up and go down. So as long as it's kept within 30 liter per minute, that means the mask has a good seal and there's no leaking that will affect the pressure therapy. Here at the bottom, you can see the event under each pressure setting. For instance, this majority of the time has been in 5 cm H2O. And this is the range selected, the AHI of the range that I selected. At any moment, I can just press this black gray round button here to zoom out. And if I press again, it will zoom out all the way back to the original setting. And if I want to see another detail, I just have to left click my mouse and then just shift right to select the range that I want to take a look in more details. And I just release the mouse, the click, and then I just able to see these details. And these events and the events under each pressure setting will vary from the range of time that I select. And last but not least is the long-term trend. If I click the long-term trend here, I will see the following particular bars. One is the ratio between the pressure and leakage. Here is from 0 all the way to 20 cmH2O. And on the other y-axis is the leak from 0 up to 80 liter per minute. And the x-axis is the dates. So you can give you a ratio between the pressure and leak. This gives you a ratio between the pressure, therapeutic pressure, and percent of time. So you can see here, majority of the time is kept at 4 and 5 cmH2O under this range of period of time. And the days versus the compliance, majority of the time, when you add up to 100%, here is 64 of the 6-hour usage per day. So this can all the way up to 100% when you add every usage of hours per day. And here you can see the usage, and here you can see the events. So total AHI is 545 incidents, and if you divide it by the hours of sleep, you can get a 2.6 AHI. So it's well below 5 in this incident. So basically, this is the usage, and the profile one, you just click over here, and you will find the basic information of the patient, as we mentioned before, the basic information, prescription, the supply. So here you can see the different accessories used by the patient, and as well as the agreement. Now at any moment, I can print the data, or I can save the report in a PDF format. So once you're in the usage and the patient area, you can press the plus button and to create a report. And I can choose either I want to see just the efficacy statistic, or I want to include compliance time, daily details, or the long-term trend. Then I can choose the range of time that I want to see my report. For example, I would just want to see these 3 dates, and then I press preview, and then it will start to log the data of these 3 nights from May 19 all the way to May 21st. So here you can see all the data, which include efficacy, compliance, each compliance hours, and the long-term trend, each individual details, pressure, sleep, therapy flag, and the leakage. And I can either print with a paper in the printer, or I can save under the PDF. So here I can just go and print, or I can just save and download in the PDF format and then save it into your folder. And then once I save it, and I can open the file in the PDF format. And this format can obviously email to doctors or patients, depends on how you do the follow-up. So this is a summary on how, what is the patient information that is available, the data available on the AVZ compliance online, as well as how to create a report and save it or print it. Thank you very much.